passionate, driven, enthusiastic, euphoric. This is who we are as entrepreneurs. But how we leverage these incredible attributes to dream and build businesses that scale and grow is what this podcast is all about. Hello, I'm attorneypreneur Josh Brown, and welcome to Franchise Euphoria. What is up, y'all? It is Josh Brown here, back for another episode of Franchise Euphoria, back from a long Labor Day weekend, which was awesome. Got to spend time with the old family at the lake house. The weather was kind of not so good, but the family time was oh so good. So hopefully you guys had a great long weekend, and I am back for a quick episode today, and I want to talk about something that may sound a little unusual, but today's episode is going to be all about creativity in franchising. And to many, that might sound like an oxymoron, but it really isn't. You know, this whole notion that you can't be creative if you're in franchising really kind of rubs me the wrong way, because I think it's so untrue. I mean, at the end of the day, when you are buying a franchise or when you're turning your business into a franchise, you're doing that on the basis of a system and a process that you've developed. That doesn't mean you can't be creative in your day-to-day workings within the business. I mean, I'm going to explain that a little bit over the course of this episode today, but it just kind of bugs me. I think there's like this notion out there with regard to franchising that, you know, there's just, it just strips the entrepreneur of all creativity. And I just think that's somewhat hogwash. I mean, yeah, I'm the biggest preacher out there that if you're too entrepreneurial, don't buy a franchise. But that doesn't mean you can't get into franchising another way. At the end of the day, if you are an entrepreneur and you are not trying to implement systems and processes and efficiencies to your business, you're crazy, because that's what everybody is trying to do. And so everybody is utilizing whatever they want to call it. I think the ultimate goal is to implement franchise-like systems. So it just kind of drives me batty when I hear franchising get a bad rap from that perspective. As if it's not, you know, as if you're not a true business owner because you buy a franchise, if you're not instituting all your creativity to really start something from scratch. I think that's a bunch of baloney. But anyways, I want to cover today basically 4 ways to leverage your creativity in franchising. And I want to explain a little bit about that. The first way is local marketing. So when you buy a franchise, you know, you're buying a system, a brand, a process where effectively how the company's going to run, you know, the metrics of the business has hopefully been figured out. Well, one way where you can add significant creativity to your franchise ownership is in your local marketing efforts. I mean, most franchise agreements really have a national advertising component to them. And yeah, some of them have local requirements, to be sure, but many of them, and I would say the good ones, leave some flexibility for the local owners to infuse their own local marketing concepts and ideas, so long as it doesn't disparage the brand and so long as it's within certain parameters. But you can get awfully creative with local marketing efforts. And I would encourage people to tap into whether you're a manager of a franchise, whether you're the actual franchise owner, to tap into your creativity. Take advantage of your local space to figure out how you can differentiate yourself in that market. I mean, after all, I say it all the time here, and I'll say it again, just because you own a franchise doesn't mean you're going to be successful. When you open your doors, it doesn't mean floods of people are going to come in. You are competing against a lot of people. in mostly all cases. And so you have to constantly show your value. You have to constantly show how you're different. You have to constantly help people with their problems, provide them with good services, provide them with good products to stick out and ultimately be successful. You need to leverage the local marketing component of that with regards to your own creativity and thinking outside of the box, even though you're working within the realm of a franchise. I think similar to that, you need to leverage online marketing. I mean, it's a big issue right now in franchising. There's not too many franchisors that are really engaging with the franchisees in a united front to conquer the whole social media, online, digital marketing aspect of business. I mean, a lot of them are doing things on a national brand awareness perspective, but I don't see a lot in the way of, for instance, helping local franchisee owner operators get blogs set up or get podcasts set up or get YouTube channels set up. I mean, these are all great delivery tools and great ways to get your message out there, to get your products out there, to get your services out there, to differentiate yourself in a crowded and noisy market. And so I would encourage franchise owners to do that. I mean, obviously do it within the realm of your franchise agreement, but I don't think most franchisors would have a problem with instituting an online marketing strategy that's going to help you stick out, so long as it's done in a responsible way. I think a third way that you as a franchise owner can really implement your own creativity and add your own sort of special sauce to your business is through hiring. I mean, you, after all, as the franchisee owner operator, are responsible for the hiring and firing. I mean, that's one of the principal reasons that the franchisor decided to franchise. They didn't want to expand corporately and take on all those additional employees. So now you, as the franchisee owner operator, have the responsibility, obligations, duties to hire and fire people. Well, do it in a way that's going to work well within your culture. Do it in a way that works well with your personality. I mean, don't hide that from the hiring and firing process. I mean, after all, we're in a day and age where people really are finding, in order to find value in what they do, it's more about what you pay them. And especially in the franchise space, where often you're dealing with low hourly wages and high turnover. I mean, you really have to do things and get creative to get good people in there that are loyal to you and provide great customer service. I know there was a recent statistic that I saw that the companies that have happy employees consistently across the board have higher customer experience levels and are ultimately more profitable. So don't ever forget that the happiness of your employees, the happiness of your team has a direct impact on your profit. And I think there is a tremendous opportunity when you're hiring people, when you're communicating with people, to get creative in how you do that and still work well within the franchising relationship. And I think the fourth thing is managing. I mean, this sort of ties into the hiring or after you hire somebody, but you really got to make a concerted effort to set a culture for your particular business. I mean, just because you're one of maybe hundreds or thousands of franchise businesses, I guarantee you each one of them has a different culture. And the culture that you have within your own business flows downhill from the top down. And so really how creative you are, how instructive you are, and how good at communicating you are with your team is going to play a huge role in your ultimate success. And I think really will provide you with a great outlet to get creative in how you operate. I mean, I think the overall theme to what I want to get across today through this episode is that I think there's this notion that people, lose the creative side of themselves when they get into a franchise business because they think every single aspect is dictated by the franchise agreement. And there are some franchises like that. But really in most instances, the framework of the franchise is dictated. The framework of the systems and the processes, those are dictated to you because in theory, they've been proven over time. And if you follow them, you will hopefully be successful. But never forget that a business relationship is a one-to-one relationship with people. It's people interacting, whether it's your employees, whether it's your customers, whether it's your prospects. I mean, these are interactions, and people form opinions, and people want to work and be around people they know, like, and trust. So you always have to keep in mind that you need to bring your own creative sauce to the table and really value that so that you can help make your business that much more successful. So just remember, just because you're buying a franchise doesn't mean you have to check your creativity at the door. There is room in franchising for creativity. You just got to get creative in how you do it. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for being with us today on the Franchise Euphoria podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go to iTunes and provide a review. Also, please remember that although Josh Brown is a licensed and practicing attorney, nothing contained in this podcast should be construed as legal advice, because it is not. The information contained in this podcast is general and educational in nature, and none of it should be relied upon as legal advice. That being said, if you have questions for Josh and would like to contact him, please email him at josh@franchiseeuphoria.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you tune in to our next weekly episode.